Today we'll be covering project accounting. So we'll be going over our project flow dashboard that basically shows the overall process flow of the project accounting module. Then we'll be looking at the project template overview. So a project template gets created for reuse of, think of creating a standard project template that they can create projects and modify the individual projects off of. Then we'll go ahead and actually create an individual project. Next, we'll move into selling and installing equipment, recording the sale, service order, shipping product, and then going through the actual scheduling of the appointment, running through the appointments, and then invoicing the customer. This section here is somewhat of a replay from last week's webinar on field service, but now we have project details injected into it. So it's similar. Similar steps, but we'll have projects and project tasks included in the step that will then lead to our last topic, which should be able to look at, go through some project analysis, be able to review the project results at the end, run a project P&L, and see everything at the end of the line. So with that said, we'll start with looking at the project flow dashboard, going through a project template overview, and then creating a project off of it. So here we have our list of dashboards in Acumatica, and here's the project flow dashboard. Again, these are interactive. It's not just a picture, but it's an actionable dashboard. We can see here that on the left-hand side, we can make expense allocations, define allocation rules, and associate those with projects. Billings, create billing rules for customers. Associate those with projects. We can basically associate everything in Acumatica to their projects, time entries, expense reports, you name it. So, this is a little bit of interesting thing. Project equals X. So that's kind of like the standard non-project entry when you have projects required within the system, and you say, hey, we don't need a project. We just put in a default value for it. This is kind of an interesting thing that pops up on a project flow, but. Diagram here, rather dashboard. But I just wanted to show that this overall flow, and I mean, generally speaking, we can tie projects to just about any transaction within the system. So I'm going to go ahead and create a look at a project template rather. So we're going to go to our project workspace menu. We're going to use a project template for services. So just we have this project template, again, reusable for something nice to create and reuse over and over again as projects get created throughout time. I just want to point out some features of this. So underneath project properties, this revenue budget level, we have it down to it. We're budgeting through a project down at an individual task, an item. It could be a product, could be a service item. We have the option to budget down to that level, or just down to the task. So a project has one or more tasks associated to it. We can budget down to that task level, or even more granular down to a task and item level, which is what the setting here for this service project template. Underneath this billing and allocation settings section, just want note some options for be able to apply allocation rules, to be able to apply billing rules, and we can also have a cap, if you will, on our T&M, use a T&M revenue budget limits to cap how much we actually bill to our customers. That's an option that's also on the template that can carry on to the projects. And also in this visibility settings section, so this is showing, hey, where would this a project for this template be visible within the system. So we can tick and untick where each individual module that we want projects to be present, if you will. In this case, we're just saying, hey, we want projects open across the board. So it's open in GL, it's open in the world of expenses, world of revenue, sales orders, purchase orders, and so on. So we just have projects available throughout the suite. Also want to move into the tasks. So this is a nice power of the project template. Define these tasks. So you have a standard service project, doing an estimate up front, then you have the installation service, and then a final billing. So create these three tasks. They happen over and over again. So that's the power of having that template and having it reusable for when these projects get created for individual customers. And then lastly, just wanted to point out here on GL accounts, we have like a default account for where revenue gets booked. Then we also have some, if we have some unique or some additional revenue, I should say, that gets booked from an individual task, we can define that as such. So when we're in our installation task, that includes the shipping of the product as well as the field service technician actually installing the product. And that shipment part, that first part, is going to have some sales freight revenue. We're going to charge the customer for that sales freight, and that's why we have that defined here. So we'll see that in play a little bit further down the road in this demo, but just wanted to just cover that just to show, like, hey, these are some standard settings on a project template that then default onto our projects that we create. So I'm going to go back to the projects workspace. We can go ahead and add a project. Start giving it a name. We're going to use USA Bartending, and we're going to install an air conditioner, so I'll kind of abbreviate that. Select USA Bartending. Now I'm going to pick that template. All right. And so now, so we got the project ID assigned, the customer selected, the template selected, and now I'm going to go ahead and remove the hold on this project up in the header here, and then go to this task sub tab. Now we see those 3 tasks that we're just looking at on the project template. Now they've fallen onto this project. The status of them is in planning. So I'm going to click this button to activate all 3 of them. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and save and close that. So now we've created a project. Nice and simple. Now we're going to move into doing the work, selling product, installing a product. That's going to include recording the sale, creating recording a service order, shipping the product, doing the actual scheduling and installation of it, and then lastly billing the customer. So again, a bit of a replay from last week from the field service webinar, but now we have project details injected, and we're going to see that come out now, last part of project analysis. So with that said, I'm going to come back here and go into our sales order workspace, start creating a sales order. In the world of field service, we select a different order type, sales order field service. Notice how the header changes up here. USA Bartending, picking that same customer. I'm going to pick that project that we just created. Let's see, I got to make sure I got the right one. Here we go. All right, and it's a particular sequence. This clicks create service order, and before getting into the line item, it's going to go ahead and save that. Now note that we have a service order number created. Here we have the hyperlink to it. Next, we're going to go ahead and add 2 line items. So we're going to add the sale of the product and then the sale of the services. We're going to tie those two to the installation task of the project. So go ahead here. First, pick the product, the physical product. It's going to be one of them. And here's the installation task. Next, we're going to pick that service, doing the actual air conditioner installation. Give it an hour. And also going to pick that task as well. So go ahead and save that. So we've got the sales order created. Now we're going to go ahead and process the shipping. So create a shipment off of the sales order. Right. We'll confirm the shipment. All right. So now we've completed the shipment, and now we're going to go ahead and schedule the installation. So I'm going to go back. Got these hyperlinks, very useful. I'm going to go to the orders sub-tab, open up the sales order again. Now remember, that service order number got created in the header of the service order, and we got this schedule button. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. We get this calendar board. I'm going to move this to tomorrow. Get access to the very right edge of the screen here. And on the service order, I'm going to filter the staff. That filters down to who's available and who has the skill set. I'm going to take that service order. I'm going to drag it, drop it into this shaded area for Michael Andrews. As a reminder from last week, those shaded areas are basically their standard working hours. So ideally, we keep it in those standard working hours. And then now here's the appointment. So we've got the appointment set on Michael Andrews' schedule, and now here are the appointment details. So here's that project. I'm going to go ahead and select as a default project task the installation task, just like we have on the individual line items of the sales order. And then this is pretty much, excuse me, more standard detail here. Go ahead and say, yep, validated by the dispatcher. We've got this appointment confirmed. Now we can go ahead and save that appointment. I'm going to go back to the calendar, refresh it, and now we start seeing our color coding kicking in. We have this appointment on Michael Andrews' schedule, and we have that marked off as confirmed. I'm going to go back to the appointment. That was a misclick. And we go back to the appointment, and we have a couple actions here. Send an email confirmation to the customer about this appointment. Send it to the staff member responsible for appointment. We see those activities getting logged up here, those 2 emails that we just sent off. And now we can just go ahead and close that appointment up. We can close this calendar board up. And now we're going to be in the world of Michael Andrews using his mobile application to work this appointment. Close this. I'm going to log in with Michael Andrews, and then we'll look at his work in a second here. All right. So this is Michael Andrews with the Acumatica mobile app. Go ahead and select the appointments list. Oh, wrong one. And here we see this one not started. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Go in the upper right-hand corner here, say, yep, I'm starting the appointment. And we could do things like attach a picture of the air conditioner. Go ahead and done that. Pull it up for everyone to see. That's our picture. Go ahead and save that to the appointment. Now we'll go ahead to the summary sub-tab. We'll enter in a comment here. Go ahead and use our voice. This is a sample comment. Let me do that again. Comment. There we go. Got that. And save that comment off. Just continuing to work this appointment here. I'll go to the additional sub-tab here. We'll go to our signature section. Punch in, I'll just punch in my name. Starting to mark off this appointment as being complete. And this little slide here saying, I, the person above, agree that the appointment has been completed. Go ahead and select that. Save that off. And come in the upper right-hand corner here, sign the report. I'll use my finger. Click OK on that. Save that. Then lastly, mark this appointment off as complete. And that's Michael working with the Acumatica mobile app to complete that appointment. So now we'll go back into our desktop application here, or rather our SaaS application. We'll go back to the calendar board. Let me take that back. Go to it a quicker way. I'll use universal search. Come back, look at tomorrow. Sometimes it's challenging to work with GoToMeeting. Just want to mention that in passing. And here we see the appointment marked off as completed from all those actions that we just saw on the mobile application. Changed it to gray, so I'm going to go ahead and select this appointment. It's completed, and what we're going to do is we're going to close it out. So open it up, mark it off as finished. Then underneath the actions menu, close that appointment out. That's that. There, now that you see the status has changed to closed. Now I'm going to go ahead and release the time that was applied towards the project. So use global, universal search, release time activities. And we can see, where do we have? We have this time that's associated to it. So we go ahead. Actually, that was for tomorrow, wasn't it? So there's our project, or rather our appointment. So I'll go ahead and select that appointment, click process. Now we've got that time released that was recorded to the appointment. Come back to the sales order. Is the one that we just created here. So you see the sales order is marked as completed. Now we're going to go ahead and start invoicing this. So we'll go ahead and prepare the invoice. The invoice appears. We'll go ahead and release that. And now we get that link to the target equipment. So we have that target equipment created. So if we had, say, some subsequent service orders such as repairs, we can track track everything associated to it, the installation, subsequent service orders for repairs, and so on. So we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of update on that target equipment. Mark it off as an equipment type of air conditioner. Come to the components section here, and I'm just going to give it a serial number. Go ahead and save that. Close that out, and that's it. So now we've sold and installed the equipment. We recorded everything from the field, and we've invoiced the customer, and we've also updated the target equipment that we just installed that it can be pulled up for subsequent service orders. Now, lastly, get to the results of all of this. Look at some project analysis. Review the project. We'll look at a project P&L. So with that said, we're going to go back into our application, go into the project workspace, and open up that project. So let's take a look at the balances tab. So we got revenue, we got labor, material. Just a little bit of a coding piece, more for now, but basically we're booking the revenue and booking all the expenses. We basically have that, in a sense, basically a project P&L right here on the balances tab. Look at our invoices sub tab. There's that invoice that we generated and released to the GL. We look at the activity history sub tab. Now we're seeing that installation and time. We just went really quickly here, so we spent a minute, if you will, from when we started the appointment to when we closed it out. So all this on a single tab, and look at the GL accounts. Just wanted to point out. So now we've got that, noted that account that. So on that invoice, we were able to enable that invoice to also charge sales and freight. We didn't go into the GL details of it, but that, if recall from a little bit earlier, we set that up on the project template. It got inherited by the project that was created off of and we'll be able to invoice without hesitation. I'm going to go back to the projects workspace, and I want to run a project P&L. Select that. And this is basically what we were looking at before, and looking at the revenue, the expense, and the expenses for labor and material. Basically, what we're looking at online now. We also have in a report format. So that is a little bit on the results of what we're seeing. Basically driving metrics specifically of P&L for projects, but we're also seeing all those activities associated to the project. We're looking at the invoicing that's occurred. Basically, all make via the project. That's the hub for capturing all this activity, all through the sub tabs, through reporting, you name it. So that's everything we've got to show today for project accounting. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for watching. To learn more about our products, visit www.crestwood.com. Hope to see you there soon.